Hello and welcome to the podcast starting me and my friend
Brandon.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of I don't know why he's an intro again.
The show with no name.
No name show. And by the way, another episode. By another episode, I mean a first episode, or at least the first recorded episode.
True, we had one earlier, but we lost the footage, or we lost the audio.
Yeah, audio lost. Sure. All right, so
That's the story we're going with. Just go with it.
all right. Sounds good.
Like,
We gotta get our stories right.
Like, can you? Come on.
Come on, Ted. Come on.
So yeah, guys. So on this podcast, we make references that you guys may not even know. So let's have fun with it.
You'll find out these new references the more you listen to it.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, it's up to you.
Yeah. So today's topic. You want to look through the topics we have on our paper roll?
Okay, let me go. We have death, abortion, on most controversial subjects. God, my God.
Actually, let's talk about the death one, because that one came up today.
Not the death one.
So yeah, what's today? Today is the 25th of February 25th, 2017. It's a Saturday. We just came from Big Bear. Raul's first time learning how to snowboard.
And for those who don't know what Big Bear is, it is not just an actual Big Bear. It's a mountain near a city called Big Bear.
Right. Yeah. It's a snow mountain.
There is snow. Yes, it's a mountain that has snow.
Yes.
It's pretty nice. What was the location called?
Big Bear Resort.
Big Bear Resort. Surprisingly, I didn't see any bears.
They're hibernating. So
Actually,
it's the winter. So.
Actually, there's a zoo there. Apparently, what happened is I took training lessons with the kiddos and stuff, because I'm too pro. Nah, it's because it's the first time skateboarding, snowboarding. And
actually,
then,
he acted like it was skateboarding.
Yeah.
For those of you who know how to snowboard, you gotta use your heel toes. He was trying to like Tony Hawk it and trying to move his whole leg, trying to move the board. And of course,
I was adding some flair. Okay.
I mean,
gotta spice things up.
If you call falling on your face flair, then yes, lots of flair.
Hey,
all flair all over the mountain.
All opinions, man. All I hear is hate from this side.
All up and down the bunny slope.
Comment below if you think he's a hater. Comment yes for yes. Comment no for yes. Leave no comment for yes.
So,
Thank you for commenting.
What Raul was using there is a Donald Trump tactic. If it doesn't go with what he wants, then it's fake news. It's not real. It doesn't exist.
Listen to the Trump fan over here.
Yeah, which is Raul. He loves Trump. He
Hell
has a
no.
"Make America Great Again" sticker on his car.
What you talking about?
But that big red sticker that you had that says "Make America Great Again."
Nah, you mean my hat, man.
Oh, your hat. Okay.
It says "Make Donald Trump again." For those who don't know what that means, it's a reference to John Oliver. It's an episode where he sold a hat based on he was doing some research and found out that Trump's last name is actually Make Donald
his
Trump
ancestors,
again.
His
Trump
ancestors,
with
like
D
his
or F,
uncle
yeah.
or something.
His grandpa or his great grandpa changed his name for reasons I care not. Either way, they changed their name when they came to the U.S.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you change your name if your last name was Trump?
You gotta have some sort of heritage.
That's like a Hitler thing. Like,
I don't know, but if you know what the meaning of Trump, but why Trump out of everything?
I don't know, man. It does. Oh, I think it's just because it's nowadays, but
It sounds similar to it. Yeah, I can see that, but still, that was a reference to it. And sadly, no, I don't have a hat. I just made that up.
yeah, he can't afford a hat. He's too poor.
Yeah, man, I can't even afford a beanie.
He doesn't have to borrow mine.
So
what were we saying? Oh yeah, so we went snowboarding.
bears. Hold on, bears.
No.
There's like a little
there.
zoo up there,
Yeah.
and they have rescue bears. Turns out
Bears,
they could be
mountain lions. They have.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you seen them?
Yeah. Well, I didn't see. I saw the mountain lion. I didn't see the bears.
Was it in the zoo or was it outside?
Yes, it was outside. I saw a mountain lion outside.
Oh, really? Wow.
And I'm alive to tell the tale, guys.
Are you missing a leg?
I battled it with my bare hands, and that's
You got bare hands,
that's
man?
a bear with a B-A.
What did you do?
B-A-R,
Kill a bear?
Just like our Constitution says that I am allowed to have bare hands,
No,
bare arms.
it doesn't say that, but we'll get on
It
to a
says
different
bare
topic.
arms.
The state should be
and
allowed
it's
to
spelled
for a
B-A-R.
militia, for a citizen's militia.
Well, I'm taking.
I don't
that
have the
context.
wording right now. Yes, that's what changes the whole story.
That's the point.
Gun control and
All right,
the
guys.
second
So Raul
is the
doesn't
second
know
topic.
jokes. Like he needs to have it straight away.
I need good jokes.
Comment below if you know the joke I was saying. Bare hands.
I hear crickets, don't you?
And apparently Raul's delusional. All right. So what were we saying? Oh yeah, so the bear zoo thing, and then I don't know what was it? I was gonna bring up some point.
Snowboard death.
Snowboarding.
First time
There
snowboarding.
you go. Yeah. So we were going on the lift to get to the top of the mountain. It's a little little tram thingy. It lifts you up from the bottom to the mountain to the top of the mountain.
Wow.
And
So amazing.
you know, right? And well, I mean, apparently it was for you. You were scared shitless.
Heights are a matter that are very dear to me.
Yes. And
so is that.
As I was trying to calm my friend Raul down, I was trying to see why he's scared of death in the first place. Or scared of heights, which pretty much, you go all the way down to you're scared of death because of the heights. And so what I was saying to him is, why are you scared of heights? Like, I was trying to logically work him through it, trying to see the core of the problem there. It's not the height, of course. When people are scared of heights, it's not the height, but the possibility of falling from that height. And from falling from that height is... Oh, that one's broken because of the battery.
Okay.
Right. So when you fall, obviously you're scared of that fall because it's going to hurt, right? Or if not hurt you, you'll die. And of course, Raul is very scared of our friend Death. He hasn't got acquainted.
Yeah, good thing I haven't, man.
But that's the thing. I mean, you can't live your life being scared of death. Death is gonna come for you whether you want it to or not. So might as well.
I try to forget he exists.
But then you remember him as soon as something quote unquote scary happens, right? I mean,
I just think of the action. I don't think of it. I don't know what I'm talking about.
But at the base of it, it's death that you're scared of.
Okay.
Like the height thing. You're scared of heights.
Well, I admit death is scary. But then again, would you see the same argument of what you're trying to say is for whatever thing you're scared is equal to death?
At the base of it, yeah.
So
if
what if you're scared
it's because of death?
What if you're scared of some people could be scared of some random stuff. Well, for all of a sudden you could be scared of those what are those things called when they're like in the car dealerships and move around a lot?
The little
thing.
The
little wiggly thing.
It depends on what traumatic experience happened to them for them.
But are they scared for death of that, or are they just scared that that's not natural?
Well, I mean, I can't really. You're giving me a hypothetical question.
I'm using you a logical response.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I can't give you a logical response.
You hear that here? He can't give logical responses, Brandon.
Because I don't have that person in front of me to ask. Well, what caused this situation? Because of course. It has to be because of some traumatic experience when he was younger.
Maybe there is nothing to me. Maybe it's the first time they see it.
Keyword maybe.
Life.
So
for all I know, they could be scared of worms. They attach that to worms because how they move. The inflatable things. I forgot what they're called for the viewers. For that one viewer who understood. Out of one viewers.
Well,
Thanks, Mom.
You said maybe, so that's pretty much making an assumption that he could or could not. So
that's true. That's true.
There's one way for me to answer that logically.
How about people being scared of
the only example I can answer is you because you're here and I can ask you your question. The question.
That isn't a sample. This isn't a random sampling or some sort of representative sampling of the people.
But that's the thing.
You're pushing an agenda, sir.
You're not the only person I've asked that though. You're not the only person that's been scared of heights that I've asked.
Have they been on this podcast?
Not yet.
No, exactly.
I shall bring
up
them
to
next
this
time.
point. You're at a 0%.
That's true. I mean, there's no proof that I have done this. Just my word. And
so far, the viewers have already determined that your jokes aren't funny. So,
I mean, comment down below if you find my jokes, their dad jokes, are funny or funny-ish.
Some are.
Yeah. I mean, the more we do this podcast, the more I'll do jokes. But I'm not a dancing monkey. I can't just do it right now.
Sure about that?
But what were we saying? So yeah, so heights. Raul's scared. He's a bitch.
Yeah, they're scary, man. They're terrifying. Looking down, you see those. There's some buildings that people love to go up just to look outside and like think they're gonna die or something. It's crazy. I don't know. Like You've been to Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
All right. So there's this one building called the Stratosphere. It's a hotel.
Oh yeah.
And it has cool. And is a casino and there's a bar on top and there's like a little amusement park. Mm-hmm. And that amusement park in this hugely enormous tall building. Well, it's just tall. Probably one of the tallest ones, I think, in Vegas. Maybe I may be mistaken. Don't quote me on that.
Quote him on that, guys. Quote him. Fact check him. He's wrong.
I'll use alternative facts. Okay. Basically, there's this one amusement ride on top of the Stratosphere that purposely takes you outside of the zone of safetyness. By that I mean it's like a roller coaster that takes you outside of the building, well, not the building, outside of the roof, and lets you hang outside of it.
So you're on the roller coaster and it goes outside.
It's more like I don't know how to describe it though. I haven't been on it because Heights?
So you're just making an assumption of that.
No. It's very, very tall, and you can see it from a distance. How it leans out of the building. And the thing is, it becomes not perpendicular or anything, but it has a certain angle that just makes it terrifying.
Terrifying, but not unsafe. Obviously, it's safe.
For all you know, it could be unsafe. How I don't know how often to check it. I don't know how many casualties, deaths, or anything. Most likely deaths, because that's a far drop.
But here's the thing: like, if there was a certain amount of deaths, then they would have shut it down. They wouldn't keep it open.
Not necessarily. I mean, they would have some sort of restriction, try to fix it up a bit, but sometimes they could also hide stuff.
Hide a death.
Yeah, that's not that difficult.
You heard it here, folks. Raul knows how to hide dead bodies.
And I'll show you in this podcast. So say goodbye to Brandon.
All right, so he's going to show you guys through an audio podcast.
Hey.
All right.
Some people can understand what that means.
But, so yeah, guys, here we like to talk logically here. Also factually. And if we don't, then we give each other shit for it.
And make some corny and bad jokes.
Yes, that too.
We just like to talk about random stuff along road trips.
Yeah, dang, look at this. I'll do this perfect picture.
Do it. Take a picture. I'm going to see if I can take a picture sometime. All right, now we're back on the podcast once again. We got to take a short break.
We're fapping to nature.
Totes, brah.
Speaking about fapping, have you seen that Cyanide and Happiness episode on YouTube?
Cyanide and Happiness. That's the cartoon sticks with those jokes, right?
That's a really broad, general explanation of it, but yes.
Really? I thought that was very specific.
Comment below if you think that was specific. No, so there's this, it's like different little skits that they animate. And one of them, it's this guy staring at nature, you know, it's beautiful. There's a lake, there's whatchamacallit? There's deer, there's squirrels running around. It's beautiful, and he's just looking and taking in nature. Then he pulls down his pants and starts fapping to it.
Why would he do that?
You'll see. You'll see here right now. So then the camera pans around and it shows the front of his face, and it shows the house behind him, and some dude comes out opens the door and comes out. He's like, hey, the Wi-Fi's back on, and the guy's like, nah, I'm good. And it ends there.
There's some strange people out there.
Yep. I mean, that's the lesson for today. If you don't have internet, don't have pornography, fap to nature.
What about your imagination, though?
That too. But I mean, nature's right there for, you know.
Nah, I'd rather use imagination. I don't know. That's setting some sort of I don't know. It just has a weird mental image.
Fapping to nature.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone has their kings, right?
But nature, though, what? You find that tree sexy or something?
I mean, as long as you're not hurting anybody, then it doesn't matter what your kink is. As long as, like I said, as long as it doesn't hurt somebody.
Well, what the tree's feeling?
Well, unless if it hurts someone and they're okay with it, then that's fine too.
What?
BDSM.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because technically you're hurting someone, but they're consenting to it, so that's fine.
Interesting. That's actually an interesting topic.
BDSM?
I don't know. We should go into that topic just yet, or should we save it for another day?
Maybe. I don't really know that much about it, so I can't really comment on it.
Sounds good. We'll research it later on tonight.
Yep. And just for the podcast listeners out there, doesn't mean we're gonna do BDSM to each other. We live in separate houses.
Hell no.
We are just friends. No sexual feelings here.
Not at all.
Just for those people that take that out of context.
Nah, they're imagining it already. God damn it.
Probably.
Good thing we don't have faces right now.
Right. They don't know how we look like. They just hear my delicious deep voice. I should just talk like this, right? Just.
Sing Chocolate Rain, bro.
Chocolate Rain.
Hey, look, it's Tay.
I don't know how the rest of the
or say, or whatever it's called. Something is the same. Chocolate Rain.
Chocolate Rain. I need to warm up my voice. I can do it better with my voice.
Me. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Oh dang, car on the slide. A wicked way.
It's probably slowing down for us. They need to do that for the other Christmas.
There's a lot of cars lined.
There's two.
Ignore them. We're causing them safety.
Nah, I mean, there's some people that like to go faster. Like, I don't want to be that douche that, you know.
No, I'd rather make them be safe. I'm sorry.
I mean,
and even when it causes a line,
they're adults if they want to speed, knowing that
some
it's
people
snowing,
is surprising.
then it's
Some people's mental abilities aren't adults.
fine. It's not my responsibility. My responsibility is getting me and you safely home.
Exactly.
That's
you always
it.
got to assume the drivers have to get you though.
But
Yeah,
in
man.
that case, that's
Did the
even more-
Matrix not teach you
In
anything?
that case, that's more reason for me to pull over and let the guys passes.
They're out to get you.
Comment below if you think I should let the guys passes, and then we'll take the top comment and I'll go with that.
Yes, we'll look at the comment after the podcast is over.
Yep.
Trust
All right.
us.
And the top comment says I should pull over. All right.
Oh, what?
I'll pull over.
Oh man, hey, you signed it yourself. Oh man. Oh, dude, I seen some of those posts. It's funny, hilarious. Like, have you caught up with okay, for all you know, guys or girls who've seen this when you were kind of younger or up to date, there's a show called Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball, and right now there's currently right now it's 2017, and they're doing new episodes for a new season, and it's called Dragon Ball Super. And in one of these, calm down. You know you watched it as a kid.
Dragon Ball Z Super.
Oh, it's brand new
Super.
though. It's brand new.
Well, how could I seen it as a kid?
Well, you know you've
just
seen the
recently
other
came
series,
out.
the other series like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. You said you watched Dragon Ball Kai, I believe.
I don't recall this. This wasn't on the podcast, so we can't verify it.
Whatever.
Yeah, see, backfired. Pull over right here, guys.
Did you sign?
No,
Did you signal?
now they get it.
Nah, I would have signaled. Would have given me some braking space.
Well, then again, you're a noob. You just started driving.
I mean, safety first.
I mean, I safely pulled over, it didn't crash, so.
I mean, if they weren't paying attention, they're on their phones, and they wouldn't have been. They would have been like, "Oh,
That makes no
snap,
sense.
last
I
minute
didn't
break."
stop in the middle of the road. I just pulled over.
I mean, I would have like signaled to get out. That's what I'm trying to say.
I mean,
Okay, anyway, it's Dragon Ball Super, and there's this one episode where he wants to do some sort of a universe competition. It's Dragon Ball is very much about this one character, well, many characters, but the main character, his name is Goku, otherwise known as Kakarot. Weird name, I know, but basically he's a Saiyan.
what is it saying?
A Saiyan is some sort of extraterrestrial.
Oh,
There's
saying. I
like
thought you said he was saying something.
Oh no, he's a Saiyan.
What does he say?
Man, if you want me to do the Japanese or the English one?
But
Oh, whatever.
You've seen the show, you understand that joke. But
Okay, whatever. To the point where he has some sort of universe contest, and why I bring this up is because people are telling him not to do it, and not to get involved in this to prevent it because something dangerous could happen. To make this and to put this perspective, there's this person who posted like a meme of it, basically of pretending to be his Facebook account or something, saying the first person, if I get one like, I'll set up a universe tournament, and then he likes it himself. Oh, I got you. Pretty much liked his own post to prove his own agenda.
that reminds me of this other post that I seen of this guy. He's like, one like and I cheated on my girlfriend, and he likes it himself.
Yeah, those posts they could be hilarious. That's a good one though.
But yeah, what were we talking about?
We went everywhere, man.
Well, you wanted to talk about BDSM, or is that later?
Nah, we'll say that talking for another day. We gotta research.
All right. I mean,
For you viewers out there, don't worry, we got you covered.
let's see. What else have we talked about? What was on the news recently?
What isn't?
Well, Trump's been in the news a lot.
Do we really want to start with him?
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like we could start with that. I don't know. I mean, for those listeners who are tuning in for the first time, which is all of you, because this is the first podcast. I want to. Oh, personally, I'm not saying I'm a liberal, but I'm more on that side, just a slight liberal. More center than anything, just because both sides have the crazy people.
You'll be more of a moderate.
Yeah.
I could understand that point. Like,
But I lean a little bit more liberal side.
you want to divide it between social and versus economic. Are you economic conservative or are you liberal in social policies? So that's one way to distinguish it in a way.
Well, in both, I'm moderate, but like I lean.
Okay, economic.
liberal.
Are you for free trade or not free trade? No free trade.
Wait, for our listeners, you want to explain both?
Oh, fuck. All right. So social policies would involve like civil rights and all that stuff, and equality, and economic would be that would be liberals or more left leaning for social policies. For economic conservative, you want to do some things like tax breaks, so tax less, have a less influence on the government itself. Meaning you want to minimize big government, make it into small government, or at least what is it called? Make it a government like a minimal state, where it protects you, it makes laws and enforces them, and in terms of it protects you and all that. But it doesn't really do much more than that. Versus the other one is government involvement in everything from education to providing welfare and all that. Welfare, social safety nets. And for the economic one, there's the tax breaks. There is, what was I gonna go for? Because there's one thing in my head. It's slipping for some reason. Free trade. Free trade, in other words, is do you support allowing multiple states or countries to have some sort of free trade agreement, meaning they'll lower they won't have, or they'll lower their tariffs. In other words, taxes from imported or exported goods, and they have to be mutual agreement. Damn, that's beautiful. The mountain.
Everything you just said was pretty beautiful. Yeah, I agree.
And basically, the concept of this is you can lower the prices for consumers in both countries, which means better purchasing price, lower prices for you. For example, if the U.S. has many free trade agreements with all over countries all over the world, some of them could be in regards to Mexico in terms of for fruit and vegetables, and other countries like that. So that means we'll be able to export them at a cheaper price without the tariffs and all that. Versus against free trade, the logic behind against free trade is because free trade will allow for others to prosper in a way. The concept is you might lose jobs out of it, and you might lose strength on enforcing like worker policies. No, what is it called? I'm losing it right now. Want to help me out with that? Like workers' rights and environmental rights. That's one of the problems with it, is you might lower that, and because of that you might also lose industries inside the state. So the idea behind tariffs is to protect your own industries. For example, manufacturing used to be very big in the U.S. up until maybe the 70s and 80s, when manufacturing pretty much went overseas because it was cheaper to produce. It was less expensive in terms of labor. They had less in some countries and less environmental rights. So you could some countries had better materials already in that country, so you don't have to ship it everywhere. So they would value the pros and cons of it and say it's way cheaper, we'll make more money if we do it overseas, or move the country overseas, or contract overseas. And that becomes an issue in regards to modern day. Ever since it was established. How do you land on that? You get yourself in more of a free trade or not? Both have good arguments for and against.
Yeah, I mean, with everything, there's always its pros and cons. So it's like, for me, I don't know. Honestly, I'd have to look more into that, like economic-wise. So I can't really tell you where I fall economic-wise without researching. So
okay,
I'll stay neutral on that one. But for me, it really depends on the issues. I'm not like 100% liberal in everything. That's why I'm more moderate, because there's some where I agree with liberals, others where I agree with Republicans, and there's sometimes where I agree with neither, because both sides came up with stupid ideas. So that's why I'm more moderate. That's why I say I'm more moderate, but I say I lean more towards liberal, because there are some stuff where I
agree more.
You
have more
in common with liberals. Not everything, like I said, but more than Republicans. How about you? Where do you see yourself in general?
A bit more socially liberal and more moderately economic.
Okay.
Not conservative, because what's it
Moderately
called?
economic.
Fuck Reaganomics. That was a horrible plan. Horrible plan.
Should go down.
Oh yeah, it went down.
Yeah.
In the 50s, there was income inequality was not really much. It was a smaller factor than it is today. Way smaller. Because all social safety nets, rise wages and unions, the strength of unions, they increase the amount of money people are getting. Versus now, after Reaganomics and the big tax cuts to corporations, they gave them the ability for corporations and places to hire and fire people on the spot. They weakened unions,
Which are still weakening.
they have they still have a negative connotation. But the more you know about it, it's better for you. Like there's certain things they will, like, companies tell you, don't try to unionize or we'll fire you. That's a tactic itself to try for make you not unionize, or they'll even discourage you. Don't talk about your salary with other people. You want them to find out how much you're making. That's a tactic, and you'll think people want to hate you because how much you're making. Like, no, you're supposed to talk about your wages because you'll find out if you're making a fair much, or if like, for example, what if you're working in a company for 10 years or something, and you find out the new guy who's doing the same job as you, with less experience, is making maybe you were making $20 an hour or something. What if you find out that guy was making 25 to 30? That's pretty unfair. You have the experience, you have everything. You have to be able to talk your wages and negotiate itself with companies' businesses.
Which is what companies don't want you to do.
Yeah, they don't. Why? Because they're gonna have to pay you more.
Exactly.
And benefits itself. So healthcare example, that's one thing they really don't want to do. I mean, some companies do give good wages, good policies, but if you look at it, the idea of a corporation is to make money for their investors. That's their primary goal.
I mean, you can all, if you guys haven't seen the show already, it's called Adam Ruins Everything. He does go over. That's one of the things. They go over unions, paychecks, all that stuff. Pretty interesting show. Gives you a lot of, pretty much opens your eyes to different things that you did not know about. And they also have their sources that they have right there on the screen when you're watching. So if you want to, fact check them, make sure that they're not, BSing you, then you can do it right there. So, which I think is pretty cool. Kind of.
This show's pretty good.
Yeah, they're very transparent about their facts. So that for me, that makes it worth watching. And
Facts
plus,
and research, yeah.
Yeah, and then plus learning all these different things that first of all I didn't think about, and then second of all, it's like, once you think about it, it's like, oh well, these are the facts, and this is how they're screwing you, or how you're screwing yourself, or how these myths are not true, but we still believe them today. I think one of the most memorable things there's a bunch, but one of the ones that comes to mind right now is he was talking about the glasses, how expensive they are.
Yeah, episode is pretty interesting.
Yeah, so let's see. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's they have it monopolized, right? So the glass.
It's
the glass
essentially one giant corporation that monopolizes. Has a monopoly on glasses.
Yeah, so one giant company owns all these. Well, they own these smaller businesses, but pretty much it's one company, and that's why these glasses are overpriced, like a lot. You have to pay, I think, like $100 or a couple $100 for glasses, which is pretty much a necessity for people who can't see. If you don't have 20/20 vision.
Well, they can see. It's just they can't see with a 20/20. So.
Well, yeah, they can't see clearly, pretty much. But either way, you need those glasses.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're gonna dish out that money, and the corporation knows this, so they raise the price really high. And that's what they talk about in the show. So they explain to you the company that owns it and how it monopolized, and how you're overpaying for all these things, and how the glasses are actually pretty cheap to make, but of course since it's monopolized, they charge crazy amounts of money.
Yeah, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but in the episode somewhere it mentions that if someone else tries to start their own glasses company, they'll undercut their prices crazy, force them out of a business, or buy them out.
Yeah, and actually they gave an example of a company that did that, and they ended up buying that company because that company went bankrupt because of that very tactic that they used. So, but they kept the name still. The name's still there. It's just, for what's it called? So people think it's a different company or whatever. But
is the illusion of free choice?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever seen the picture, but there's like a cow saying, "Oh, great, I got to choose between left or right." But little as you know, they both lead to the slaughterhouse.
That's a good.
That's a good one. Yeah, it's a powerful image.
Yeah. So I mean, that's why that episode is really strong, like, in my mind, just because I didn't know about that. For one, I don't wear glasses, but like it makes me even like people who have glasses, I'm pretty sure they don't know about it. It's like it just opens your eyes to how crazy that is. And what's called, if people were to band together, we could stop that easily, like if everyone were to get together. But of course, that's harder.
Break monopolies, man. We gotta revive Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah, but that's
crazy motherfucker. Though.
It's harder said than done to bring everyone together to bring down a company.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we did, that would solve so many problems.
Kind of did it though. They were pretty powerful, and he broke a lot of them down.
Who?
Roosevelt, Theodore.
But then again, that was a different time too.
True. There was a lot of stuff going on that time.
Yeah. I don't know, nowadays it takes a terrorist attack for all of us to get together.
No,
pretty sad.
it's more than that. I mean, in terms, what's also pretty sad. Apparently, one of my classes was talking about how it's sad how if stuff doesn't harm you. I mean, the only way environmental action actually ends up taking place is after like something acute happens, like some sort of physical damage happens to someone.
Yeah.
People won't bring up problems of environmental hazards or anything until someone gets damaged. That's what makes it sad.
Yeah, but I mean, thinking about it in our own personal experiences too. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that happens around us, but we don't
do
care
anything until it directly involves us.
Yeah, it doesn't involve us, so we don't really care about it. Which, I mean, is kind of wrong in its own way. But you gotta understand, people are busy too, and like, they gotta. Some people have to work and feed their kids. It's like, it's really hard for them to do something and help everyone else out. You gotta.
Yeah, but if it's better for everyone, then it makes sense to dedicate at least some time.
I mean, logically it does, but I mean, that's like me asking you, how come you're not helping the cause out or any causes?
Oh, how do you know I'm not?
Are you?
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to the viewers. I'm talking about these issues.
Yeah, but I'm saying
that's
like,
actually promoting something.
I'm giving you the other side, just like, which I mean, because I'm guilty of it. I don't support anything. I mean, I know there are a few causes that I should be involved in, but I'm not, because for that very reason, it doesn't involve me. And I mean, if you look at it, that makes me pretty selfish. I mean, I could make time out of my day to go support these things, but I don't, because it doesn't.
It doesn't directly influence you. Or if it does, well, snap.
Exactly. If it does, then
it's not much of a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be a minor inconvenience.
Exactly. Like, it's not until it actually fully affects me that I'm going to get into it. And then even then, if I get into it, there's other people who it doesn't affect that they're not going to get into it. So it's like, we can't really do that much.
Oh, I see.
So, so it sucks. But, so off this depressing note, let's talk about something else.
What would you like to bring up? We talked. We never really finished any category, but that's fine. We'll save it for another time.
What do you mean finish the category?
Nah, don't worry about it. Bring up something else for now. We'll go into that for each other category if we remember.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you want to keep it going in depth, go for it. But I think that was pretty.
I have to rethink. I have to reprocess some ideas. We can talk about some shows, entertainment, or we were talking about real life current events, huh?
Oh yeah, that's right.
So some Trump and all
so
that.
You want to stay off the Trump thing.
God damn, man, he pisses everyone.
Well, what else is on the news? Because there was that one.
Well, he barred the media from showing. Well, some major media outlets from coming into a press conference. That's ridiculous.
That was.
The role of the media is to be a watchdog, to alert us what the state's doing, what's right and not right and wrong, but to give us an opinion, to let us make our own informed opinions.
Did he say why he banned him? Like, I'm assuming it's because
really
they're fake news. Right?
I think he might have suggested that.
Wow, just because.
So he banned BBC, which is a British broadcasting company, very, very famous one.
They barred CNN too, right?
ABC, I believe, CNN. He barred. He banned the LA Times. Well, not banned. He didn't let the LA Times or the New York Times or even Politico, one dedicated to straight politics and fact checking. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But he allowed. Who did he allow? Breitbart News, very extreme right-wing media, that's pouring out fake news like crazy. Why? Because he likes them.
Because they're all for Trump.
They support his right-wing. They encourage and support it when he talks right-wing ideas in terms of immigration and other subjects and this, like, was it Breitbart News pointed out, I believe, that or was it Fox News or some other news outlet said that there was an attack in Sweden or something by a Muslim immigrant, which didn't happen. And what did Trump do? He went on he said that in a statement to Live Press, saying, "Oh, did you not see what happened in Sweden?
Yeah.
In Sweden."
Yeah, I was gonna say that he didn't directly say that there was an attack. He just
he
strongly suggested that there was.
He said with that Muslim immigrant in Sweden,
yeah.
And even Sweden, the Swedish government and people were like, "What's going on? What are you talking about?"
Yeah, like, what happened here?
We don't know. If there is something you know about, to let us know. Even and some of his staff, senior staff, was like, we don't know what's going on.
But a lot of his representatives too try to explain their way out of it. Like, I forgot what their excuses were, but it's just so ridiculous. Just how they're trying to defend, they're trying to make what he said like more, what is it? Make sense, pretty much. They're trying to make excuses for that. And
it's horrible.
Yeah, like nothing happened in Sweden, so it's like, well, nothing major, obviously. That everywhere some small thing happens, but nothing big like he was strongly suggesting.
Yeah, nothing of that sort at least.
Yeah, so that was funny.
But what I also find ridiculous is he's currently going on in the way he's like going on a campaign again, a post-campaign trail saying that, oh, we did it. You're president, do your work. Kind of happy that he is doing it because he's not doing tweeting and he's not going into stuff for now. But what type of president, right after winning? Yeah, I understand you could do a rally. We did it, but then another one right after you won, and then another one because people don't like you, or at least some people are standing up to you, just so you can find support in your own groups.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It's funny because he's also been golfing a lot, right?
Too much. Apparently, he's some sort of a White House official or something, or someone who works there. Actually pointed out that he actually kind of goes golfing every weekend.
Yeah, and then there's some that he's been hiding. He doesn't tell who he goes golfing with, and he doesn't allow the media to take pictures of him golfing, which is funny because as an example, Obama, he freely let the people take pictures of him. He let people know that who he's golfing with.
Who go golfing not every weekend.
Yeah, and that's another thing, not every weekend. And even then, Trump was still on him, like, oh, look at us spending all these funds on golfing, and here you have Trump golfing every weekend.
Ridiculous.
That's funny.
Some people could say it's a stress relief, but you're the president. You signed up for stress.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I don't think people would have put that much emphasis on it if he wasn't like saying before about Obama doing that. Like, and it's like, oh, you're wasting all these resources.
Yes and no, because your duty is to be. If some issue of national security happens, what are you gonna do? Because apparently he goes to his resort or golf course in the Mar-a-Lago, the greatest one ever. Not. It goes to Florida, and he's gonna use the what is it called, Air Force One?
Yeah.
That's taxpayer money.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing, but
I understand they can go on vacation, but every weekend?
Yeah, that's too much.
To be fair, he's only been president for like a month, right?
Yeah.
Is it a month already? Yeah, I think so.
Been a month? I don't know.
I think so. When did it become inaugurated?
Oh,
the
January,
17th, right?
Yeah,
I think
January.
it was.
So, yeah,
17th, 16th.
It's been a month. Yeah.
I don't know. I just find it ridiculous.
It's just funny how ridiculous it is. Just wow. And then I've seen some people commenting like that they regret voting for Trump. So that in a way, like, it's petty, but it makes me happy. It's just like, we told you. You guys had Bernie.
Yeah, had Bernie.
You had Bernie. All you guys, liberals and fucking Republicans, both of y'all fucked up. Lost Bernie. But and Bernie's still fighting. Like, I don't know if you've seen some of the stuff he's been doing, trying to fight for rights and everything. I'm like, oh damn, Bernie's still going. Where's Hillary at? Where's she at?
Pretty sure she took it harshly. I would.
I don't know. I haven't seen her though. I haven't seen her around. Yeah. I haven't heard news on her. But then again, I feel like all the news outlets are just a lot on Trump, so that's probably why.
Well, because every day is something new with him. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's freaking crazy. But I don't know. I mean, the world hasn't gone on fire yet, so we're safe for now.
It's going though. That warming though. You feel like global warming though?
Oh man.
Freaking
no.
banned.
Remember, Trump doesn't feel it. It's not real.
No, it wasn't him. It was some sort of. It was a congressman. He borrowed a snowball to a committee meeting or some sort of meeting itself in the House or Senate. I don't remember which one. He said, "See, this is a snowball. Where's your proof of global warming?" Like, you dance, mother. Wow. You know what I mean? There's not a tsunami coming. I can't see. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, man.
Come on.
I don't know. It's just crazy because, I mean, I understand if there was, like, not that many facts on it, not that many,
but it's overwhelming evidence.
Yeah, and then it's crazy because now there's also, well, I don't know if it just started now. I'm pretty sure it's probably been out, but it's being more known that people or scientists are starting coming up with ideas that are just trying to disprove that global warming exists, which is, I don't know, like, I need to read the data and see what kind of facts it is, but to me it kind of sounds kind of ridiculous.
They would have some sort of agenda. It would be the same thing as, I don't know if you ever watched that one show, what is it, Cosmos? Not the Carl Sagan one, but the one that came out recently with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, okay.
There's an episode where he's saying how even if you have science progress and research done, there's going to be some sort of push against you. And one of these cases was some sort of, I think it was oil company, and this one scientist was trying to prove, pollution is bad for you. You could die with it, or something like that. Or the release of the CO2 in the atmosphere is negative, and it's harmful. It's pollutant. and that what this oil company would do is sponsor research. They would pretty much hire a scientist to prove them wrong, and because of the budget they have and the influence they have also in congressional meetings, because who do you think in order to run for Congress you need a lot of money, and you need to ask
a ton of money. You have to raise it up yourself too. It's crazy,
which is ridiculous.
That's another thing that Adam Ruins Everything goes over to.
Crazy money, yeah. And they're gonna have to get their money somewhere, and it's gonna be by certain special interests where they get monies from, like PACs and all that, right. And they want some sort of agenda. So if an oil company gives a certain politician an amount of money, a very sizable sum, they're gonna expect something in return. It'll be like, hey, so we want to continue our methods. Yeah. You got it. You got my vote. You hired me.
Yeah. And that's a big problem too with our government. It's just a lot of lobbying from these big companies, because for that reason, like they need the
campaign finance reform.
Yeah, to be in politics, you need a lot of money, and of course, the only way to get it is you get it from big companies. That's the best way to get it.
There's some solutions for that, though, are some sort of public funding itself.
Yeah, but then that would require people getting together and pitching in, and of course...
Well, I meant taxpayer money going into campaigns, but having a legal amount.
They would have to raise the taxes for that to happen.
Unfortunately, yes.
So either way, it'll require the people to agree with that.
But the logic behind it is now they could view the direct support of the citizens versus the special interest.
Yeah, I forgot what country. I believe it's Denmark. It is Denmark. I don't know. It's one country in Europe where...
It's Scandinavia.
Yeah, my bad. There's one of those countries where they give, I believe, 70% of their check goes to the government. But that's because the government is not like ours, where it's fucked up. Like, they actually give back to the people. It actually
they pay high taxes. I don't know. That's a separate issue.
Exactly. They pay high taxes, but because it's what it should be. Like, it goes to fixing roads. It goes to education. It actually goes to what it's supposed to, compared to us, where we pay taxes. Some of it goes places that it shouldn't go, or
fun fact, budgets for the CIA are technically hidden, and we're not allowed to know what they have, how much money or something.
Dang,
or what it goes into. The CIA and others, some sort of military like research and development. It's like secrets to the public. It's classified information.
But see, here's the thing: like, if our government wasn't so bad, and you trusted the government, you wouldn't mind that, right? Because like you feel confident in your government, much like Denmark.
You should always have some sort of suspicion of the government.
I mean, yeah, but like, there's also a point where, like, if a government's really bad or not. Like our government, I wouldn't really trust our government. But then if there's, of course, like you said, you should be skeptical. But there should be, you should feel sort of like comfortable, like, with your government, not like, oh man, they're gonna screw me over.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends. Also, if you live we live in a country that has a wide variety of minorities itself, and they would feel unrepresented in some cases itself, which could also influence in the trust of the government.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I keep saying Denmark. I mean, if I'm wrong, that you guys can correct me, or I'll correct myself in a later podcast. But I'm just saying Denmark just for the sake of saying a name for a country. But yeah, so in Denmark, like, people trust their government. Of course, I'm pretty sure some of them has to have skepticism, but just in general, you have like you're okay with paying your taxes, because
you get free college.
Yeah, you get free college. You get like a bunch of other, like, free, I believe, free health insurance too.
You know what? Actually, I think it was Sweden or one of those also countries. They actually implemented a universal. Well, they're testing out. No, they already have that. No, pretty much every country has that.
We're the ones that are behind. We're behind in a lot of stuff. Transportation. Yeah. We're behind in what's called universal healthcare. We're so many things.
Oh, but we're definitely ahead.
We're behind.
Way behind. But we're ahead in the military.
Yeah, I mean, for now, China's catching up.
We're still outspending them.
For now.
We're outspending them like crazy.
No, I'm saying for now. I'm not saying like that they are outspending. I'm saying for now we're outspending them. Even then, should we be putting that much money in the military?
No, we shouldn't.
Yeah.
I understand people are going to say, yes, we do, but guess what? Most of that money doesn't really go to good use. Some stuff goes into buy extra stuff that we don't need. It really doesn't.
Exactly. So it's like
some of that military budget should be directed to upgrading their facilities itself. Some nuclear facilities itself have old ass computers. The ones with
they still use floppy disks.
Floppy disks.
Yeah.
Nuclear codes. Floppy disks. You know how dangerous that is?
Well, I mean, in a way, I guess it depends how you look at it. Because if it is floppy disk, like how you can, it's not online, so you can't steal the codes. You know, you can't launch
It's outdated. They have no security system. Even if they did have some sort of online, they have no security system.
Yeah. So that's
ridiculous.
The problem.
Nuclear weapons. Nuclear.
And then we still have a shit ton around, even though we disarmed a lot, but we still have a shit ton.
Well, guess what Trump promoted the other day? He wants more.
Oh my god.
It's ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure Putin was the one who told him, like, hey, so you guys should get some more nukes.
Oh, they actually invented another nuke the other day. I think it was called the Satan or something. Satan 2. And apparently it would destroy... It is just too much of it's a huge percentage size of Texas itself.
Wow.
Like, not the whole size, but a decent size of it.
Texas is still pretty big, though.
Hell yeah!
Just
One of the biggest states in the U.S.
Yeah, man. If it can cover a majority of it, then that's scary.
That's how powerful
and plus
it was.
Radiation.
Oh, that's expense for miles.
Yeah, so...
That's scary. Just know that one of those major cities gone immediately.
But that's the thing. We don't need nukes, honestly. Like, okay, let me rephrase it. We don't need the large amount of nukes that we have right now.
Well, nukes serve as this thing called MAD, as a mutually assured destruction. It basically says if one person uses nukes, it's gonna go down.
Exactly. Everyone's gonna fire their nukes. Everyone. Even North Korea, but that shit's gonna crash into the ocean. It's not gonna reach anyone, but they're still gonna fire it.
Sorry, Kim Jong-un.
They're trying though.
Please don't test us.
I don't know if you've heard, like, you know.
If we do, we live in your northern state.
I don't know if you heard, but they're still doing their tests. Yeah, but it keeps failing.
Well, the argument behind it is all these other countries want to develop it. Like, what is it? Iran, India develop it, Pakistan's developed
they have
it.
their own.
They're like, if you guys have it, we should make our own.
Yeah.
And for safety reasons. They have a logical argument behind it. And who are we to say, as a superpower or declining superpower,
that you can't have it? Yeah, that's true. But that's the thing. Imagine how many nukes we have in the U.S. I'm pretty sure we have more than enough to blow up the Earth 20 times over. We don't need that many. We needed to blow it up at least one time over. That's it. Why have so many nukes? Like, disarm that shit. That's what I'm saying. I mean, because
it's ridiculous how much we have. We did reduce them back in the day, but
that's the thing. Like, it was reduced, but you can 100% be sure that you still have a shit ton of money.
I still high-key wish that there was this one treaty that happened. I forget what year it was. I think it was in the 80s or something, or 70s, where they agreed to stop using nuclear material for testing in terms of rockets. And the problem with that, I have an issue with that because during this time there was a lot of development, a lot of research, and a lot of proving research promising research. I mean, for rockets fueled on nuclear power. They were getting propulsed by small nuclear little mini bombs itself, and they would elevate them, and they would be able to go higher speed than our current fuels by dramatically.
They can last longer.
Heck yeah! Because currently our spaceship designs with the amount of fuel we have, they need a large amount of fuel to just take off the Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah. That's like the majority of the fuel goes in.
That means you need majority of a space shuttle, a spacecraft goes into fuel, and you need more fuel to lift off some heavy object. And that means in order to lift off that heavy object and that fuel, you need more fuel. Yeah. But there is a certain limit that there's a mathematical and scientific limit to how much fuel you can carry to lift off out of the atmosphere, though. Yeah. And go into orbit, or at least out of orbit.
Yeah, but
and nuclear would have kind of solved that issue.
Yeah.
Because it would have been way less, and you can carry possibly more, go faster. Instead of reaching Mars at, like, I don't know, how fast do you think we can reach Mars now? A couple years, 5 years, 10 years?
I think it's 8 years, isn't it, to reach there?
I don't know. We probably could have reached it at 2.
I actually think it's a lot more than 9 years. Because there's
the old spaceship, the rovers that they sent were sent many years ago.
No, I'm saying, aren't they making an expedition but it's a one-way trip because it's so far?
Yeah, but that's going to take maybe 10 years from now.
But still, like, they're saying, it's a one-way trip because it takes so many years to get there. Like, by the time you come back, you can't come back because you'll be dead.
Yeah.
So I think it's more than 8 years. I'm pretty sure it's a lot more now that I think about it.
But either my point is, the nuclear could have helped us out a lot. I understand why they wanted to stop testing of it,
But
He's
then,
very, very into Cold War mentality of why you testing nukes, but
yeah.
I still kind of wish we had that, because imagine what we could have done with it now.
But that's the thing. I mean, that's one side of the argument. But let me be devil's advocate. What's called a counter thing to that. It's like, well, that's not the only way to get energy. That may be what we know is the most efficient right now, but it's not like we're not creative enough to come up with something else. There's always something better. So I mean, just you gotta take out the nuclear thing, to make everyone else happy, and figure something else out.
Yeah.
It should just push us more to be more creative, to figure something else that doesn't involve nuclear energy. Because I'm pretty sure that's not the only energy out there.
No, it definitely isn't.
So it's just, I mean, it does take away a good, what we have right now, a good viable way.
We could have used that to develop other technologies. For all you know, we could have found out that not only can the waste of nuclear waste could have been done, can be converted to something else. We probably could have found out even earlier than expected.
Could have, but I mean, that's the thing. Like, sometimes you just gotta.
Oh, the next issue. Well, the reason why we can't develop that, or even if we didn't have the nukes, we stopped pretty much funding space programs as a state. Why? Because we made it to the moon, and then that's it. That was the goal.
I mean, even before
the budget went down crazy.
Yeah, before JFK, the budget was not that much either.
After JFK, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying before.
Well, once you find out that the Russians sent what is it? Sputnik.
I remember we did that video.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
So what we're talking about, guys, is was it 11th grade? 12th grade?
Junior year.
Yeah, so junior year of high school. Well, we had a project that we had to do, and we chose to talk about Sputnik, which was the first spacecraft in space that was sent by Russia, and we created a video.
Was that one the first one, or was it the first man?
No, it was the first spaceship thing.
I don't know. It might be the first one, or it might have been the first one with the man driving it. Because there's one
Sputnik. I don't think it had something in it.
There was some human that made big news. I don't know if it was the U.S. or the Russians who got first. Well, correct us if we're wrong.
Yeah,
we're probably wrong.
Correct us down below.
All right, so.
So we did a project on that, and it was pretty shitty, really bad.
Oh yeah, if you look at it back now.
Yeah, when we look back at that video, it's a really bad camera quality, really bad green screen, which I did myself. I was very proud of them at the time. When
it was so green.
Yeah, it was. Oh man.
There was one scene where he's like, I give up.
Yeah, it was hard. I mean, it wasn't easy, especially since we didn't have correct lighting, so there's a lot of shadows everywhere. So for those of you who have try to work with the green screen, if it's not all one color, then it's really hard to
we probably spent more time filming
than actually studying for it, or doing the research. Yeah. The research was like super easy.
Yeah. How much time did you spend on editing on that? It's been quite a while, huh?
Well, I ended up editing up until the point we had to present. So, and even then, like, it wouldn't fit on a disc.
Oh, that was the biggest one. That was weird.
I had to split it up into two different pieces, and it was.
I have a copy, but for some reason, it's at one point, like the whole video is gone, just audio's there.
Oh wow,
which is creepy. I don't know why. I think because I made my own version, but I think it's because didn't we divide it somehow?
Well,
in terms of editing at one point?
I had to divide it in 2 points because the whole thing didn't want to fit on the DVD.
No, what I meant is
that was before I had anything bigger than a 4 gigabyte USB drive.
If I remember, oh my goodness, those are days.
No, like the more than 4 was around. It's just I didn't have the money at the time. I was a high school student, no job, so of course I couldn't afford it.
More money, more problems. That's the solution.
So I had to use a disc, just like my forefathers. And that, as you guys know, does not hold that much memory.
Oh so, yeah, we divided as part of the editing, because I remember doing this one one stitch where like to the moon, and I didn't do the green screen on that.
Oh, I don't know.
I think that was me, because I remember doing this one skit and we added it because I added all these references like the Hallelujah song in the background.
Oh man, yeah. Either way, it was all bad. But back to Sputnik. So. Talking about how it was
basically
underfunded.
Post landing on the moon or whatever.
We stopped giving a shit.
Yeah, we pretty much stopped giving shit about that.
Because we won, guys. USA.
America.
We're first. Just like those people on YouTube comments first.
21st.
That's all that matters. We were there first. Which is, I don't know.
OP, could you like my comment?
But it's kind of interesting though. We've explored space. Well, what is it saying? We explore space more than we have explored our own oceans. Like, we know more about space than we know about the oceans.
I think that was...
Which is...
Reddit, so that's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, that's mind-boggling, because we have so much water on Earth, and how have we not explored the ocean more? Why aren't we finding this?
Okay, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I hear people argue we should explore the oceans more, but I'm like, but space.
Yeah, it's crazy. You want to do both, but like, there's no funding for both.
Personally, I'm kind of terrified of the water.
Oh, really?
Because
this is another death one, guys.
Because the oceans be scary, man. You don't know what's in there.
You're scared of dying. You're not scared of the ocean. You're scared of what's in it.
And I really can't swim, so that's not really helpful.
Yeah.
Either way, there's some stuff that, like, I'm scared of tsunamis and all that stuff. Like, that's why I kind of get scared on boats, because you see those movie thrillers, those giant waves and storms and hurricanes, you name it. That's why I don't think I'll be able to live in Florida or in that area because of hurricanes.
Yeah. But I mean, we live in a place where...
That's another topic.
Hurricanes?
Natural disasters in general.
Well, for me, let's finish up the last one. Well, actually, we did finish up that space one, right?
Kind of. We were underfunded. If we had funded it, we probably would have had a lot more development. That was the main point.
Yeah. But, so yeah, natural disasters. Personally, it is scary when there's an earthquake, but I mean, for me, I'm not scared to live any place where there's natural disasters, because obviously people live there. So it's not like completely inhabitable, so you just learn, you know. It's like, for me personally, I'm not scared of death. I mean, I know it's gonna happen regardless, so I'm not scared of it. I mean, if it comes, it comes. There's no way for me to stop it.
Sure about that? Let me ask that guy from V for Vendetta. Hell Test the Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, I've seen that movie. I don't remember what part you're
Basically, he tortures the girl, Natalie Portman, like crazy, just to make sure that she has no fear of death anymore. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoilers. Yeah, spoilers on this podcast.
About that. If you haven't seen that movie...
I mean, that's your own fault. When did it come out? Like a couple years ago?
Oh, yeah, many years ago. Why would Natalie Portman was making movies like crazy?
Yeah, see, that's fine then. I mean, if you haven't seen it, that's your own fault. But what was I saying? Oh, yeah, so personally, I'm not scared of death. Of course, it's not like I'm going to go and try to kill myself or do something that's... I'm going to try to be as safe as I can when I'm doing stuff, but I'm not going to be scared of, like falling or something, you know? It's like, well, if I fall, you know?
Oh, really?
Obviously, I'm going to
Let me fly. Hold on. Let me fly. Screw the gravity.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'm not going to do something that's going to purposely get me killed, but, of course, I'm not going to be scared of something that's illogical, like the snowboarding thing. It's like, when we're going...
You have a higher percentage of dying in a car than in an airplane, and we're in a car currently. Would you consider that as purposely trying to kill yourself?
No. Because if you go on a plane, you already know the risk, so it's like, you need to go on a plane. But I'm saying, like, I'm not going to jump off a cliff, like, head first without, like, a parachute or anything, and just, you know, kill myself, obviously. But then again, I'm not gonna, like, if I do, like, parachute, like, off somewhere, I'm not gonna, like, fuck around on the parachute, like, oh, yeah, you know, like a dumbass. I'm gonna be safe about it, but I'm still gonna do it.
Speaking of parachutes, have you seen those, the squirrel jumpsuits?
Yeah, those are cool. I want to do that.
Dude, that's so terrifyingly awesome.
Right? Like, I want to do that. That's another thing. That's scary. Like, obviously, I need to take lessons. I'm not just gonna jump and do it myself. I'm gonna take lessons.
That's terrifying. If I can't snowboard, I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think I would rather watch a GoPro.
That's the thing. You were doing good. Like, of course, obviously.
I only got one shot at that.
At
what? Jumping in a squirrel suit.
I mean, you're
you fuck up once. Sorry, bro.
You swear like they're gonna let you go on by yourself, just like parachute. They don't let you go by yourself. You go with an instructor who's been doing it for years.
Instructor shows up drunk. I got you, bro. I got you.
If he's good enough to do it drunk, then fuck, that just shows you how pro he is when he's sober.
That's maybe. What if he can only do it drunk because he's scared?
Oh,
or she.
That's it. Yes, we believe in inequality on this podcast.
You were about to say inequality.
We believe in equality.
We believe equality. Grammar. Now bueno.
We believe equality. That's not proper.
Because it sounds like we believe in equality. I'm like, wait, we believe in equalities, but it sounds like inequality.
So we believe in equality.
It still kind of sounds like inequality, no matter what. I'm trying to think of a better way to say it. And fairness? No, fairness is different.
Equality. We believe equality for all. There you go.
Okay, that's semi better.
I mean, I'm pretty sure people
understand it's acceptable for now.
Alright, so
squirrel suits.
So squirrel suits. I mean, yeah, but I was gonna say, You should have done that. You should have taken shots like for snowboarding. Well, not your first time, but next time.
I would have ate shit.
Yeah, you would eat more shit. Actually, it depends. No, because it depends. Because like obviously there's a point if you take too many shots, you're gonna obviously be too drunk. But there's also a point where you're buzzed, and because you're like feeling a little lighter, you know you're more comfortable. You're not as scared.
One of the instructors today actually pointed out that she had a girl for the lessons show up drunk, that she couldn't tie her lace for the board. And then she couldn't figure out where it was located. And then when the assistant tried to help her out, she started giggling like crazy. Like, she is gone.
She is gone. Well, that's the thing. She probably was super scared. That's probably why.
Not only too, but I think she's also might have said that she smelled like it. So definitely.
So what I'm saying, like, if you're really scared, obviously, like, you need something to help you out, not go up there.
That's true.
For your first time, I wouldn't suggest it. But like for me, I was a little buzzed when I first went up there.
So you don't feel the pain?
Like, not when I first went. I mean, like right now, like today when we went, because this is my second time coming. So I already knew. I already had taken the lessons, and I already know how to get on the lift. So it's like, now I just need something to keep me cool.
Oh, okay.
Chill. It was cool. It felt nice. Didn't last that long, but it felt nice when it did.
I didn't feel it though. Then again, you did take more.
But dude, that's what I find interesting about you, because by now you should know your limit already. Like, yes,
really
of course, every liquor is different. But the thing is, like, you've drinking enough liquor to know how much is gonna get you messed up, how much is gonna get you buzzed.
My problem is I've had bad memories with liquor. Well, more like no memories. Hey.
That's the thing. Like, you should, like, everyone knows their body, right? Like, after a certain amount of time drinking,
Yeah,
like,
but
for me, that's how I know what's too much and what's not enough.
It's been a while, way too long.
But the thing, me neither. Like, I've been drinking. I forgot how many. Actually, since last year, the beginning of last year.
Nah, you drank this year.
This year, what?
Didn't you go to what's his name's birthday party?
Oh, Juan's birthday party, right? Yeah, I did drink that. Yeah, but I didn't get drunk though.
No, I didn't either.
But I meant like get drunk, like.
Oh, you mean get?
Because I mean drink.
Get yeah.
It's like I haven't.
I
haven't got drunk in a long time.
Last year also. I mean, I went to Mexico over the break, and I didn't get drunk, but there's some sections where I'm like, wait, I did that? I was with a cousin of mine, and we went to that's hilarious. We went to this one club or whatever. Like, the guy's like, oh, dude, it's gonna be popping like crazy. You have no idea how you should have seen it last night. Oh, it's gonna be so packed. Here, get this. We get you special discounts, whatever. We go in, and we also have supposedly unlimited drinks or whatever. They were super watered down drinks. It was insanely bad. It would hurt your stomach because, I don't know, they would do some stuff.
Wow.
It was bad, and there was no one there. There was more employees than people at the club. It was sad.
Dang.
It was very sad. And after waiting, we're thinking, well, we'll just keep it a while. We'll try it out. We spent too much time there, and we should have, because before we went there, we were looking around all the clubs and all the bars and stuff for the night view. And some of them looked pretty good, like with promise, but they weren't as big. And we thought maybe the bigger the place, the more people. And because this place is kind of semi-new, and you see pictures of semi-new, there's pictures and you see people having a good time. And supposedly it's some sort of not famous, but it's an upcoming one. You would have thought, hey, it might be popping. Nope, it was empty. We leave there disappointed, and then we go to another place. Neither of us were feeling the drink really at all. We go to another place, and all of a sudden the mood has changed. The people dancing. It's good times. It's a smaller bar.
But you got there late.
You got there freaking late as fudge.
Oh, man.
And then I just don't remember much of it. We didn't drink that much though. It was ridiculous. We ordered like 1 or 2 buckets, and we finished them itself. We had some people share, but there was one point where we're just like, wait a minute, we did that?
Oh, wow.
Like there was like some sort of a video or some, not Snapchat or something, and we're like, wait, when did you do that video? And he asked me like, wait, when did we record this video, like singing to the song with other people? I'm like, I don't know. What? No.
Dang, sounds like you're gone.
We weren't though, because we had nothing really. Well, both of us agreed that the liquor and the drinks from the big club, whatever, was bad because both of our stomachs hurted for some reason. Like, this isn't natural.
So was it spiked then in that case?
I don't know if it was spiked. It just had something that it just made my stomach burn for some reason. We already ate before.
But that's the thing. If you don't remember, I feel like that was spiked. That was some Bill Cosby stuff right there. Like, what would you do?
What we do know is we were kind of buzzed when we got home though. Well, we got to the room. Well, at least what is it? Is it home? I don't know. It's because we rented out a place.
Let it be on the record that I believe that Raul and his cousin were spiked. They were roofied.
I don't know, man. It was something to. It was just bad. But either way, like we try to figure out like when did that happen? Because we remember pretty much everything except for that small section. Like we weren't drunk or anything at all. Definitely not. I just don't understand why. Well, we got out of the topic.
Aliens, man.
Aliens. Oh yeah, I try to bring up natural disasters because I'm like, the topic I always thought is, where would you rather live, near a tornado or hurricane, earthquake, constant tsunami, or like tsunamis, volcano eruptions?
For me,
extreme heat, extreme cold.
Well, actually, first of all, before I answer, because I have my answer for that, but what's your? Yeah, because I've thought about this before, but what is your take on natural disasters?
I'm terrified of tornadoes. Terrified of wind, pretty much. Terrified of tornadoes, hurricanes. Extremely terrified by them. Tsunamis. Nah, I can't live on an island, man. I can't do it. Volcanoes, hell yeah. Dormant or not, I'm living on an island or a place where it's gonna erupt any minute.
You don't want it to be another Pompeii.
Heck no, I'm good, bro. I don't want to be bronze or what is it? Not bronze.
Ash, right?
It's petrified. Is it petrified? No, not petrified.
So, but frozen in ash, pretty much, is what you're
saying. Yeah. I ain't trying to live like that. So
okay. What is the other? What's left? Earthquakes. What about earthquakes?
I mean, living in California, you kind of get used to it, but there's always that fear of the big one. Mm-hmm. That's just kind of terrifying. For those who don't know, the big one is essentially like
my dick is that's what we named my dick. Big one.
He claims it himself.
It's what is it called, a hyperbole now, like where it's the opposite because I have a small dick, so that's what we call it. Then.
But essentially, this is supposedly this earthquake called the big one, and okay, whatever, and it has to happen once a century or once every other century, or I forget the exact date, but it's been overdue, long overdue.
For a couple hundred years now.
Well, the last one wasn't it the one in San Francisco?
That wasn't the big one. That was a big one. That wasn't
really
the big one.
Oh shit!
It wasn't.
Oh my bad.
Which is crazy. We're just like, what? Yeah.
But either way, yeah, there's supposed to be a huge earthquake, and people make movies about it where along San Andreas Fault, where California crashes in half. Half of the state is ripped in half and goes into the water, becomes its own island. All these theories itself.
What movies? I know San Andreas is one of them.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't know if it's a movie technically, but I've heard stories about that when I was younger. Yeah, when it happens, the half of California is going to be ripped off and become an island and drift far away. Yeah. But like as a kid, it made sense, okay, because I didn't really understand how plate tectonics or how landmass continents work or anything.
Well, I mean, it supposedly is happening slowly, isn't it? Because the fault, like supposedly the fault or whatever, it's slowly spreading apart, and sooner, like in a couple hundred years, a couple of thousand, it'll spread.
I don't know. I really don't know. So I would like to live in a place where hurricanes aren't a big problem, because honestly, I always wanted a basement.
Right? Yeah.
I always thought that that's
except in scary
awesome.
Movies, that's like the only time I wouldn't want to. But yeah, in general, yeah.
Or some sort of like nuclear apocalypse, a bunker underground.
That too. That'd be pretty cool. Have you seen I don't know if you've seen, but there's some TV shows where people like trick out their bunkers and they pretty much make it a man cave.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's so fucking cool. You can just like go underground and it's a man cave. Man, I always wanted one of those.
That was my point. Something similar to that, just to experience it itself.
Yeah.
Well, not experience a nuclear apocalypse or anything like that, but like just having a bunker, like a secret layer.
Yeah, that's so
just
cool.
Amazing.
Or like in some way to get to like from your house, like you pull a lever and it's like a slide or like stairs that descend down and then it goes into your bunker. It's like
bat cave, man. Like going to the side of a mountain or something.
That'd be so
a secret tunnel that leads someone to some abandoned road.
That'd be so cool.
Only or something. It's just fascinating.
Yeah.
But
cause all shit on the plate.
Yeah, but not only that, but the problem is with earthquakes. Well, fuck. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like if it's sturdy, like would it matter if there's an earthquake?
I mean, it all depends.
It's in the ground.
If it's the big one, you really want to test it out.
Obviously, in the big one, nothing's gonna survive that. So
stuff will survive.
Like
buildings.
No, because
not everything's gonna be collapsed, because some of them are really made really good. Don't get me wrong.
But the thing, there's buildings, that are set up for earthquakes, but it's only a certain magnitude that it's able to handle after. If it's too much,
the problem itself, I believe, is just the land itself. If it becomes, is it liquefaction, or is that just for the beach areas?
No, that's for earthquake too. Oh, I mean for our area, depending on, like you said, the land. But yeah, that could happen in something.
Speaking of liquefaction, have you seen about those? What is it? Potholes, sand holes, or? Quicksand? No.
Yeah, quicksand.
Potholes on the freeway though.
That are
There-
quicksand? That are
No, there's just like, what is it called? There's just a hole in the ground. Sinkholes. Sinkholes are popping up, man, more often than I thought.
Oh, what is that? What causes sinkholes?
I really don't know. I always got curious about that, but I really
Because they can
don't
just
know.
appear out of nowhere, right? Like in the ground or some shit like that.
Yeah, I guess.
It's crazy.
It's just, I think one of the freeways over here by San Diego, going up north a bit, was actually shut down because of a sinkhole. And last time I checked, it's still shut down. This was like a month ago when the heavy rains were here.
Well, how do you repair that? Because it's just like continually sinking.
If it's on the
you can't put
freeway,
anything
I
on
don't
there.
think you can, unless you. I don't know.
Okay, 'cause
I
how do
really
you
don't know.
how do you close that?
Unless you like pour concrete all the way onto the top, I guess.
But the thing, like, does it have an end to it?
I don't know.
And if it does, like, how many miles would it go down? Because if it could swallow like a whole freaking road and cars down, and you can't see them anymore, it has to be pretty deep.
Oh, that's, you know what's also terrifying? Landing in a sinkhole, or not sinkhole. What is it called? Quicksand. As a kid, you see cartoons and it's terrifying how it just like eats you up.
But that's the thing. Like, there's ways to like, prevent yourself from sinking super fast. Like, if you just stay still.
But how do you get out?
That's true. I mean, but that's the thing. Like, when would you ever be in an area like that by yourself?
Hey, you never know. Survival 101.
But that's the thing. But like, if you're like, I mean, because what's quicksand? It's obviously sand that's quick, right? So you'd have to be.
Wow, Mr. Detective over here.
Okay, well, you'd have to be somewhere out, like right in nature or something. You're not gonna go there by yourself.
I don't know. I mean, it could be sand, or isn't it just dirt itself? Like
That too, but
in
I
the
mean-
jungles itself. Well,
Obviously, you're not gonna, like, if you go to the jungle, you're not gonna go to the jungle by yourself, would you?
Or is there a landslide? There's might be abilities for it, because there was this one scenario. Unfortunately, it was captured live, but there's this one girl who got trapped in one. They couldn't pull her out, and she slowly sank.
Damn,
And there was people trying to like tell her it's gonna be okay,
that's sad.
and she slowly sank. That's sad.